right, well, good to go, brother. Let me see.
I love, man.
Yeah, we
Great.
go, we go. What up, what up, what up, everyone?
Hey, everyone. How's everyone doing? Joe, my brother, good to be with you, man. As always, as
Glad to
always.
have you here, Len, man. It's good to connect again and collab. The synergy's
No
always
doubt.
good. Always
No
good to
doubt.
see you, brother.
So,
So, yeah, man, we wanted to give y'all some knowledge on resilience and the comeback, man. I mean, that's so important in life and anything you do. And what the one of the things we have in common is sobriety and the power of sobriety and what it's done for us. And man, I mean, I know for me that resilience muscle was crucial to being able to achieve sobriety, man, because you gotta be resilient in order to be sober, man. You know what I mean? I know shit. I almost lost my life twice.
yeah,
So if resilience wasn't a muscle that I learned to build, I wouldn't be here sharing this story with nobody today. I wouldn't be where I am today without that resilience and being able to bounce back in so many aspects of life, right? I mean, bringing just my being able to peel that onion back and take stock of who I was and who I am now, to be able to bounce back, to learn myself from the inside out, right? And also to learn that, you know, I don't have to give up on myself, that I'm a man worthy of love and respect, and that I'm a spiritual being living a human experience, and I could do anything I put my mind to,
right.
and creating that mindset, man. So, man, did sobriety play a big role on me being able to learn to really build those perseverance muscles through resilience, and also being able to bounce back to building another multi-million dollar business. You know what I mean? Like, I would have never been able to do any of that without being able to really learn the power of resilience, man.
Right. No, I hear you, man. Definitely. You're right on point, man. You're right on point. They say people who dealt with addiction are the most powerful people in the world, right? So, because all we go through, I mean, that disease of addiction, I mean, it's just so powerful. And I guess you don't really know how powerful it is until you're caught up in it, until you go through it. So, yeah, like you said, resilience is something you have to have, just to not only to get sober, but to stay sober, because anytime you're committed to doing something great, and like we both where we're at now, we're sober and we committed. There was a point that we said, you know what, that's it. I mean, I know you had, you almost lost your life. I had a similar situation, lost my life. I was out in the street and just, saw my aunt pass away of this disease. And I was like, you know what, I can't take it. I'm fully committed. Even after we commit and we start that path, that journey, it's like the enemy knows that we're about to start something great and just starts throwing stuff in front of us, starts throwing obstacles. And it happens. I mean, and I'm sure you've experienced this as well. Like, you say, all right, that's it. I'm sober. And then something happens. Boom. A life event. Something that happens, that a trigger will come that usually sends you back to drinking, right? So those triggers just start coming off as soon as you commit to a change. The enemy's like, he wants to put doubt in your mind. He wants to discourage you from, moving on and see. I remember my last binge I went on, right, but I went to my last stint in rehab. It's funny, I was actually sober for a few months and everything was going great. Everything was great. But you know, I had to do a project at work. We knocked it out, we finished it. My manager came over and was like, tap me in the back, hey, let's go get a drink. And that was my excuse to, like, oh, somebody asked me to get a drink, so it's my boss, so I'm gonna go. And from there, I was like, went on like almost a 12-month binge of drinking every day, all day, and then things happen. But it's just these things will come up, and I'm telling a story to tell you that, like, these things will just pop up in your life where you're trying to change, but something's gonna come to tempt you. The enemy's gonna come to try to test you, and that's where the resilience comes in. That's where staying focused, you know, being able to adjust to still stay on that path of sobriety. I'm a much better person. So, yeah.
Yeah, Len, I don't know if it's on your end, but you're kind of breaking up. I don't know if your internet's becoming unstable, but you broke up at the end. So,
Oh,
I
really?
mean, we caught
Yeah.
most of what you were saying just at that tail end, and I want to kind of, feed off of that, right? Because there's times, success of sobriety, success in life and your business, wherever it is, relationships, it ain't going to be a straight ride to success. There's going to
Right.
be bumps in the road, and learning how to navigate through those bumps in the road is part of building that resilience muscle. Because
Right.
I remember when 2020 came around and the whole world went upside down. I mean, that could have been an easy time to go back and relapse and go back into doing drugs, drinking, because everything was so upside down. There was change that was occurring everywhere. So it's easy to get caught up in those situations. But when you learn to be resilient and learn what it takes to be resilient, man, does it put things into a different perspective for you, because you learn to practice the habits that you had that got you to learn those perseverance muscles, and also, like, building that perseverance through is important when you build that support network around you, right? Because shit, man, I remember hanging out with the wrong crowd, hanging out with the losers, and thinking I'm going to get different results, but I ended up drinking and drugging, right? And then once you surround yourself with people who are going to inspire you, guess what? You learn to be inspired to do more with your life. My family had a saying growing up, which was, dime con quien andas y te digo quién eres. Tell me who you walk with, and I'm going to tell you who you are. You want to surround yourself with people who are going to inspire you and challenge you to go out of your comfort zone, because that's when you get challenged to go out of that comfort zone, is when you start doing and seeing what that other side consists of. And out of the comfort zone is so much more powerful than being in the comfort zone. And building the resilience and perseverance muscle takes going out of your comfort zone, because you got to do things that make you uncomfortable. Because I know for me, man, living a sober life and learning to really change my patterns and shift my paradigm was completely going out of my comfort zone, bro. There was zero comfortability with that, because all I knew for so many years was drinking and drugging. You know what I mean? That's what I knew how to do with everything. I involved everything around drinking and drugging. My business, my personal life, everything had to do with drinking and drugging. And learning how to live a new life, man, did that take being resilient to bounce back from that and learn how to surround myself with different people, learn how to change my thought patterns. I mean, that's all, takes being resilient.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that point you made about being uncomfortable. That's so true. It's like you said, our comfort came from the alcohol, the drugs. So that's what made us comfortable. And so that's what got us through each day, just drinking and drugging, doing what our vice was. And to not have that comfort anymore, to give it up. Yeah, that was a big change. And to not only give it up, but to start doing other things, whether it's meditating, whether it's prayer, whether it's working out, doing different things to get your body back. When I first got sober, I had to look at my financials, get my financials back together, because I wasn't paying attention to that. And also you touched on the people around you. You really have to start looking who you're surrounding yourself with, who really cares and loves you, supports you. And then if you have to bring in even seeking new people, new support, people who've been through what you've been through. There's a couple of friends I got, and then you'll be surprised with who you think is really your friend. I had a couple of friends that I called my so-called close friends that just didn't support my sobriety, that pretty much laughed at it, joked at it. Oh, come, let's get a drink. Put me down because I wasn't drinking anymore. And I was like, wow, these are dudes I thought were men and women who I thought were close friends. And then I had my friends that supported me, that understood and, cared enough to support me. And that made me strong as well. And then of course, when you're in sobriety, you meet new people, people to support you in that community, and that helps as well. So yeah, a lot of stuff, meeting new people, which is uncomfortable, especially if you had certain friends for so many years. That's all, uncomfortable. But again, these are the things that if you have faith and trust, we always say trust the process, right? Your life will be better on the other side of that.
Yeah, man, absolutely, bro. You touched on something also right there with creating new habits, right?
Yeah,
Because the old habits didn't work.
right.
The
Exactly.
man, I mean, going to the gym. I remember I was going to the gym and smoking fucking cigarettes, bro. Like, who does that? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Having,
Going to the
having,
gym
having a six
high.
pack after you leave, right?
Yeah, thinking I'm gonna get results that way.
I was
You know what I
there, man. I
mean?
was there. Yeah,
It
no
was
doubt.
just and prayer and meditation. That shit didn't
Mm.
even exist, man. Like I woke up and the first thing I did was look for where my next high was gonna be. I
Exactly.
didn't even know. I had no idea what a relationship with God was, man. You know
Right.
what I mean? I thought I would only use it when I'm in trouble for something or when I needed it. I didn't realize how it shifts the mindset, right? And
Right.
shifts your energy. That moment of gratitude, man, started off for me as like a minute to 3 minutes a day. And
Right.
then today, I mean, it goes 45 minutes to an hour sometimes because there's so much I got to be grateful for. And it's just the little things to appreciate, man. And wow, does that shift the paradigm and the energy for the day? It
Mm.
sets the tone for me, man. You know what I mean? About just like taking care of your mind, body, and soul before you take care of business, to me is crucial. You know what I mean? That for me
Yeah.
is a crucial part of my sobriety. It's a crucial part of me being resilient in anything I do because I make sure that I put God first. I put my body first, my body next, because that's my body's my temple, but my mind, taking care of my mind that's my power. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that comes from connecting with that higher source. So, man, I mean, there's so much to unpack there when you talk about those new habits that you create and new habits of going to different places to be able to surround yourself with the people in your life that are going to be able to help you stay on course, right? I mean, shit, I never went to a personal development event like consistently until after I achieved sobriety. That's when I really started diving in and really started to unpack and surround myself with people, whether it's people who are sober, people who are successful, people who want something that I had, that I wanted, people that had something that I wanted in life, right? That's who I made sure I surrounded myself with, because that's how we grow, and through that, surrounding myself with those people and creating those new habits is how I learn to build the resilience muscle. That's how I learn what's important.
Yeah, I think something's wrong with the internet right there. But no, but I basically heard what you said. But can you good?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, I mean, you don't know how much. I always tell people how much spirituality had. Again, like you said, when we're in active addiction, we don't know what a relationship with God is. We have no idea, and we pulling from that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and I look at it like, everybody has something they go through in life. We all do. Ours just happen to be addiction, but God gives us this for a reason, for a purpose. Like, this for a reason. And I'm just so passionate about coaching, helping others in this community. If I could go through this and where I'm at now, if I could help others get to that point where, they're not, they don't have desire to pick up a drug or a drink. You know what I mean? That's important. And I think, we're here to serve, and that's why, I feel spiritually that God put us through this to serve and help others. And yeah, spirituality just has your faith and just has so much to do with it. And again, like I said, just having faith that once you come through this, that you're going to be a better person. You know what I mean? And I know it's tough. And like we said, we talked about uncomfortability. Just, just having that faith that it's going to be better on the other end once we change, once you commit to change. That's important. I mean, that's so important.
Yeah, man. I mean, that faith is so crucial, man. Like you mentioned. I mean, because look, I look at faith like faith and fear are the same concept, right? You're believing something that you can't see, you can't touch, you can't feel, but you know it's there.
Right.
So what are you going to lean more into? You're going to lean more into faith, or you're going to lean more into fear and run away from all your problems, run away from your fears, and never overcome all that? Or you're going to lean into faith and overcome anything you put your mind to, And for me, man, that faith, that spiritual component is the key to my success for my sobriety and being resilient in anything I do in life. Because when I lean into that, man, the doors that open, the mountains that get moved, it is truly, truly a blessing to be able to understand that and experience it. And like you mentioned, like our story, God put us through that for a reason. He gave us this gift for a reason. And to hold it in is being selfish. And there's so many people out there that could connect with us and be able to grow from the experience that we went through. And it don't got to be just somebody that's going through addiction, right? It could be somebody who's going through any type of vice. There's so many vices out there, right? Overeating. It doesn't have to be just drugs and alcohol, I should say. But addiction grows so much bigger than just drugs and alcohol. There's overeating, there's sex, there's gambling. There's so many vices, shopping, that people get stuck to, and they don't know how to overcome. They're utilizing those vices
right
for the wrong reasons.
Right. And living a sober life is just not drinking and doing drugs. It's like I said, a plethora of other things, man.
Yeah.
Devices, right.
Yeah. And it's so many, and there's so many people out there that are struggling with those things. And guess what? People are afraid to raise their hand and say, I need help, because they allow their ego to get in the way of them being able to remove those vices, remove those character defects from their life, because they're afraid to ask for help, man. And man, whether it's with addiction, whether it's with your business, whatever it is that you need to take your life to that next level, don't be afraid to ask for help, yeah, because you're going to just stay running around in a vicious circle that's going to run you around chasing your tail like a dog. Come on, man. Stop embarrassing yourself out there. You could overcome anything you put your mind to, but you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to. There's so many people out there willing to help.
So true. And I think some of us, and it could be, where you come from. It could be, ethnic background. We're so conditioned not to ask for help. Or thinking that we cannot be addicted to something before it's too late, before we have to do something about it. And that's the thing. And a pastor told me this quote. He's like, God will deal with you in private first. And if you don't get it, he's going to deal with you in public. Meaning like there's always going to be hints and always going to be things that come to your life where you have to address it. And again, like addiction, we push these things to the side. Oh, not me. Even though we see our life spiraling out of control, we still feel like, I don't need help. This isn't me. I'm not addicted. I'm gonna keep drinking. I'm gonna keep drugging or whatever until it's too late. Until like our whole world crashes. And like I made prime example. I just denied that a problem. Married to the woman of my dreams. Had 2 great kids. Everything was going well, and then everything crumbled. And the next day I woke up, everything was gone. Then I still went on the destructive path, kept going, and then it became to a point where now God had to deal with me in public. Now you had to, I'm talking about numerous DUIs, just hurting, robbing, stealing from family, from friends. And it got really bad until I had no choice but to start addressing the addiction. And then I still, like I said, I didn't go to rehab just once or twice or 3 times. I went to numerous times, and I had to go down that path. But and again, like you said, don't be afraid to ask for help. So anybody we're connecting with today, don't be afraid. You don't want it to get to a point where you've lost everything, or now you have to rebuild so much, where if you addressed it sooner rather than later, you'll get to experience a good life much longer. And then, you could start to rebuild and repair now instead of later down the line when it may be soon close to too late, or destruction has a lot to repair. You know what I mean? So yeah, you want to take those signs that the Lord is giving you and, ask for help sooner rather than later,
Yeah, man. Remember, there's no better time than the present to make those changes in your life, whatever those changes are.
Exactly.
You're never going to have a perfect time. The time is now. Taking
Right.
action and going out there and making that change is crucial, because it's too late when you have no more time on this earth. That's when it's really too late. And then there's nothing you could do about it. And you can't go back and create your legacy at that point. Your legacy is created now, from the day you're born to the day you die. That dash in between is what you're going to do with your life. So the question is, what are you going to do with your life? Are you going to go out there and you're going to make the best life and live the best version of yourself possible? Or are you going to stay there playing the victim role and thinking that you're a victim of your circumstances and conditions? Because at the end of the day, we're not victims of our circumstances and conditions. They don't control our destiny. We control our destiny. You know what I mean? And when we are aligned with that higher source, I call it God. Someone else might call it the infinite intelligence, the universe, whatever you believe. But when you're in alignment with that higher source and you're living that life that's created for you, you're gonna see that when you're in harmony like that, you're unstoppable. You become unstoppable at that point. But you stop yourself when you go out of course there, and then that's when he's gonna deal with you in public, like you're saying, man. And that's crucial, But man, that's so important.
Yeah, like you said, the time, I think Kobe Bryant had a quote that said, the biggest mistake we make is thinking we have more time, and the sooner we address certain things in our life to make our life better, the longer we will have to enjoy that. And like you said, you want to do it before it's too late. And time, time is precious, and we really have to, God, we are blessed to in the position that we are in, but there's so many people out there, like you said, that are just going through this day by day, again, thinking they have it in control, not living by God's will, like I mentioned. And I just want to, and I think that's why we do things like this. We just want to connect and let them know people out there to help. And, it's never too late to change. It's never too late.
Yeah, bro. Like my story don't belong to me. Your story don't belong to you, right?
Right.
It was given to us to be able to give back. If we don't give back, we're being selfish.
Right.
That's part of spirituality right there, is giving back, right? It's a huge part of it. And I remember asking for so many years, bro. After I got sober, I would have my moments of gratitude. There'd be days where I'm sitting there literally like tears coming under my eyes because I'm grateful, asking God, how do I give this back to you, man? How do I give it back? Like, you saved my life, not just 2 times. I overdosed twice, but what about all the times that I drove home not knowing how the fuck I got home the next morning? Or the times where I had those DWIs where I could have taken somebody's life and ended up being in jail because of that. Or my life getting taken away because of that. So I was so thankful for the amount of times he saved my life. And I'm like, dude, how do I give it back? You're a spiritual being, like you're a spiritual force. I can't give it to you materialistically. I can't give it to you physically. So what do I do? And he kept just whispering in my ear, man, go share your story. Go give it back. Go give back what I've given you, man. So that's what put me here, man, is knowing that my story don't belong just to me. It belongs to the world out there, so that people can learn from it and grow from it. And I'm glad and grateful, bro, that I got someone like you to be able to kind of share this and go on this collab mission with, to be able to give it back, bro. And I know that you kind of have that same feeling when it comes to giving this back. That's why you do what you do, man. And I'm grateful to have you here, bro. I'm grateful for us to be going on this journey together and being able to give this back, bro. And I'm glad that we're trying to do this as frequent as possible, man. We're going to try to stay consistent with it and keep just, making this whole thing grow, man, and giving it back to people so that other people could give it back to other people.
Joe, thanks, man. I received that, brother. I definitely received that, man. And I'm, again, right back at you, brother. Like, I'm glad that we connected, whether a few years back, and we could do this together. Someone, like I said, I think the world of you, man. And I know we have similar stories. We've been through similar things, and I'm proud of you. Like, I pray you're proud of me as well,
Absolutely, bro.
So yeah, whatever, and I think we both on the same accord when we're like, God wants us to serve and share this. You know what I mean?
Amen.
It's selfish if we don't. And I remember there was a point where I got my life back together, and I was sober, and I was like, doing my thing. I was like, like you said, similar. Something's not. God was nudging me, whispering like something more. Like, I gave you the gift. You got your life back together. Everything's good. Spiritually, physically, financially, emotionally, it was good. But now you something else. So I was like, you know what? He wants me, like you said to you, he whispered to you, he whispered to me the same thing. It's time to share this and give it to others. So yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
grateful to be here too, man. Grateful that we're doing this, doing what we are. Grateful that God's allowing us to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Amen, bro. Amen. And I'm thankful for everybody that came through to connect with us and get this feedback and get this energy that we're out there giving, man. This is God's work, and we're grateful to be able to give it back. And we're going to do this as frequent as possible. We'll see y'all again next week, and we'll let y'all know when we're going to be out there. And everyone have a productive, profitable, and blessed rest of the week, man.
Yes, enjoy. Thanks for stopping. Thanks for checking in, everybody.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, Joe.
Yeah.
Be good, brother.
All right. So we good. Let's stop the recording. Oh, no, I got to end the stream.